Our story begins with a girl named Clara who lived her life like a ghost.
She never spoke to anyone, never met a soul. Her entire world was the four walls of her small apartment, a fortress she'd built to protect herself from a world she saw far too clearly. She's woken one morning by a car horn. Peeking outside, she sees a high school girl, Chloe, with a single glowing red line extending from her head. The man in the car, her uncle, has a chaotic storm of red lines sprouting from his. He's trying to get Chloe to school, but she refuses. Clara's gaze then drifts to a woman in a neighboring building, also with multiple red lines. The woman sees Clara and smiles, but Clara, terrified, shrinks back from the window into the safety of her shadows. You see, Clara has a terrible secret ability. She sees glowing red lines connecting people to every person they've ever been intimate with. She sees them everywhere on TV, in old photographs. A constant, glowing reminder of the secrets people keep. This power has haunted her since she was a little girl. She remembers seeing a second red line extending from her own father's head, a line that connected directly to her mother's sister. Not understanding what it meant, she innocently drew a picture of it. When her mother saw that drawing, the horrifying truth clicked into place. In a moment of heartbroken rage, she stabbed her husband and fled, leaving a horrified young Clara to witness the tragedy. From that day on, Clara was convinced her power was a curse, a destructive force that ruins lives. She tried to end her own life multiple times, only to discover another horrifying twist. She couldn't die. Unable to escape her life, she gave herself a new, bleak purpose: to find out where these red lines came from, and if there was anyone else in the world who could see them, or if she was truly, utterly alone. Her solitude is broken by a knock at the door. It's the woman from the other building, Isabel. She's new and has brought fruit as a gift. She tries to make friendly conversation, but Clara stays silent, frozen behind the locked door. Eventually, Isabel leaves the fruit outside. Only then does Clara cautiously open the door, snatching the offering and eating it alone in her apartment. Meanwhile, we meet Detective Miles, the man from the car with the storm of red lines. At the police station, he casually flirts with a colleague, adding another thread to his collection. His niece, Chloe, is having a much worse day. She's being viciously bullied by a group of girls led by a student named Jessica, who accuses Chloe of snitching and demands money, threatening to throw her off the roof if she doesn't pay up. Detective Miles is assigned a strange murder case. A woman was killed, but nothing was stolen, and there was no sign of assault. Near the scene on the night of the murder,
Back in her apartment, Clara sees a news report about the case and recognizes a delivery man being questioned. The strange thing, he has only one red line. In a world of secrets, a single red line is an anomaly. It makes him suspicious. Moments later, to her horror, she sees that same man outside her building. He enters the building across the street, heading for Isabel's apartment, convinced he's about to kill again. Clara frantically tries to call the police, but her phone is dead. After a moment of charging, she dials, reporting a killer. But as she's on the phone, she sees the man and Isabel embrace. He's not a killer. He's her boyfriend. Embarrassed, Clara hangs up. The next day, Chloe is so terrified she skips school. When her uncle Miles gets home, he sees the bruises on her face. He knows she's being bullied, but she refuses to tell him who is responsible. As he stands on his balcony, he notices Clara's apartment, a dark, curtained window in a building full of life. He then gets a call from his partner, Detective Miller. They received an anonymous tip about a delivery man killer, and the call was traced to the building right across from his. Malesh goes to her apartment and knocks. Clara stands silently on the other side. A neighbor tells him he's wasting his time, that she never comes out. But Miles persists. "You called the police yesterday. I just want to ask you a few questions." Finally, Clara cracks the door open. "It was a mistake," she mutters. "I saw a man in a helmet and thought something was wrong." but he was just her boyfriend. With that, she closes and locks the door. That night, the real killer, a man who is also a math teacher at Chloe's school, enters Clara's building. Elsewhere in the city, Chloe gets a threatening message from her bully. Desperate, she almost robs a woman leaving a bank but loses her nerve. At the station, Miller discovers a lead. The first murder victim had an ex-boyfriend, a math teacher who works at Chloe's school and lives in Clara's building. But before Miles can investigate, he gets an urgent call. His father has disappeared from his hospital room. He rushes to the hospital, heading straight for the roof. He finds his father on the ledge, about to jump. It's clear this isn't the first time. Meanwhile, Miller goes to the math teacher's apartment. He lets himself in and finds a room where the walls are covered, floor to ceiling, in what looks like red paint. As he calls Miles to report the bizarre scene, the math teacher attacks him, knocking him unconscious. Immediately knows it was Clara. The call cuts out, and Miles knows something is wrong. The math teacher puts on a pair of glasses and heads for Isabel's apartment. Clara sees this and realizes his intentions are lethal. For the first time in years, she grabs a knife and forces herself to go outside. But her legs, weak from disuse, give out, and she collapses. Inside Isabel's apartment, a terrifying truth is revealed. The math teacher can also see the red lines using special glasses. He sees that Isabel has been with other men, and in a fit of rage, he begins to strangle her. Just then, Clara bursts in. The teacher easily disarms her and stabs her with her own knife. Miles arrives just in time to see the chaos unfold from his building. As Isabel fights back, the teacher's glasses are knocked off. He panics, desperately searching for them. As Miles watches, Clara regains consciousness and stabs the teacher in the leg. As he turns to kill her, Miles fires his gun from across the street, hitting him. As the killer dies, he whispers, "Finally." The lines are fading. Clara hears him and understands. He could see them too. Later, as the ambulances leave, Chloe arrives and recognizes Clara from middle school. She learns that Clara's mother murdered her father and abandoned her. The next day, Isabel comes to thank Clara for saving her life. For the first time, Clara realizes her curse could also save lives. Just then, she receives a text from an unknown number. It reads, "I see the same world you do. Come to school." Driven by the mysterious message, Clara enrolls back in school. But the high school world is just as cruel. Chloe's bully, Jessica, humiliates her by reading a private love letter to the class. Enraged, Chloe finally snaps and attacks Jessica but is brutally beaten. A new, timid teacher, Ms. Reed, breaks up the fight but later scolds Chloe for throwing the first punch. Later, defeated, Chloe finds a pair of glasses left in her locker, the math teacher's glasses. She puts them on. Suddenly, the world transforms. She sees a single red line extending from her own head. When she gets home, she sees the chaotic web of lines sprouting from Miles and runs away in terror. Out on the streets, her new vision is overwhelming. She sees the secret connections of everyone around her, a world of infidelity and hidden relationships. She finally understands what the lines mean. The next day at school, she uses the glasses to see the truth about everyone. She sees that the new teacher, Ms. Reed, is a virgin with no red lines at all. She then follows the red line of her bully, Jessica, and discovers it connects directly to one of their male teachers. She now has a weapon. Clara also arrives as a new student. Jessica corners Chloe again, but Chloe is no longer afraid. When Jessica attacks her, Clara intervenes. She drags Jessica to the edge of the school roof. "If you ever bother us again," Clara says with chilling calm, "I'll jump, and I'll take you with me." Knowing Clara isn't afraid to die, Jessica is terrified and finally backs off. That night, Chloe is out when she gets a text from the teacher, "If you want the money, meet me on the school roof at midnight." As she prepares to go, she realizes her glasses are missing. Jessica, who had overheard their conversation, had stolen them. As Jessica revels in her newfound power, someone grabs her from behind. Chloe, now blind to the red lines, goes to the roof. The teacher begs her to delete the photos, but just then, his wife texts him. Someone has already sent her the pictures. Enraged, assuming it was Chloe, he loses control. Clara, worried, has also come to the school. She looks up just in time to see Chloe's body falling from the roof. Chloe survives but is in a coma. Jessica is now officially a missing person. At the school, a teacher named Mr. Evans finds a pair of glasses on his desk. Another pair. Ms. Reed tells him they suit him, so he puts them on. And just like that, he too can see the red lines. His new power immediately reveals a painful truth. His sister's husband is cheating on her with a woman in their apartment building. The betrayal infuriates him, stirring up painful memories of his own father's infidelity. A new scandal erupts. Someone posts the photos of the teacher and the missing Jessica online. The teacher is found dead in his car from an apparent suicide. Clara tells Miles that the key to everything is Chloe's missing glasses. Miles, desperate, finds her diary filled with drawings of the red lines. He confronts Clara, who tells him everything. It sounds insane, but it's the only explanation. Mr. Evans, consumed by his new sight, confronts his brother-in-law and demands he end the affair. Days later, he discovers the mistress is pregnant. Enraged, he goes to confront her, only to find his own sister ramming her car into the mistress's car. He pulls his sister out, but she screams at him, "Why did you do this?" The horrible truth dawns. His sister wasn't the wife, she was the mistress. His attempt to protect her has just destroyed her life. Miles, reviewing the teacher's suicide note, realizes that if Chloe had jumped, she would have left one too. He goes to the hotel murder scene and searches the bloody bathtub. There, he finds another pair of the glasses. He puts them on. Suddenly, his world explodes with red lines. He sees his own tangled mess, a visual record of his empty life. He finally understands. He goes to the hospital and looks at Chloe. He sees her single red line. It's not connected to anyone at school. He doesn't know where it leads, but he knows it's the key. Chloe, now blind to the red lines, goes to the roof. The teacher begs her to delete the photos, but just then, his wife texts him. Someone has already sent her the pictures. Enraged, assuming it was Chloe, he loses control. Clara, worried, has also come to the school. She looks up just in time to see Chloe's body falling from the roof. Chloe survives but is in a coma. Jessica is now officially a missing person. At the school, a teacher named Mr. Evans finds a pair of glasses on his desk. Another pair. Ms. Reed tells him they suit him, so he puts them on. And just like that, he too can see the red lines. His new power immediately reveals a painful truth. His sister's husband is cheating on her with a woman in their apartment building. The betrayal infuriates him, stirring up painful memories of his own father's infidelity. A new scandal erupts. Someone posts the photos of the teacher and the missing Jessica online. The teacher is found dead in his car from an apparent suicide. Clara tells Miles that the key to everything is Chloe's missing glasses. Miles, desperate, finds her diary filled with drawings of the red lines. He confronts Clara, who tells him everything. It sounds insane, but it's the only explanation. Mr. Evans, consumed by his new sight, confronts his brother-in-law and demands he end the affair. Days later, he discovers the mistress is pregnant. Enraged, he goes to confront her, only to find his own sister ramming her car into the mistress's car. He pulls his sister out, but she screams at him, "Why did you do this?" The horrible truth dawns. His sister wasn't the wife, she was the mistress. His attempt to protect her has just destroyed her life. Miles, reviewing the teacher's suicide note, realizes that if Chloe had jumped, she would have left one too. He goes to the hotel murder scene and searches the bloody bathtub. There, he finds another pair of the glasses. He puts them on. Suddenly, his world explodes with red lines. He sees his own tangled mess, a visual record of his empty life. He finally understands. He goes to the hospital and looks at Chloe. He sees her single red line. It's not connected to anyone at school. He doesn't know where it leads, but he knows it's the key. The curse is spreading, and the person orchestrating it all has remained completely hidden. Watching as their twisted game unfolds, armed with the glasses, Miles dives headfirst into the world of red lines. He sees the secret affairs of his colleagues, but he also sees that Ms. Reed, the quiet teacher, still has no red lines. A new case comes in. A student accuses another of assault. Using his new sight and a key observation from Clara, Miles realizes the girl was actually assaulted by 4 other boys. For a moment, he believes the glasses can be a force for good. But the mystery of Chloe's fall remains. He visits her in the hospital, and with his new sight, he sees her red line, pulsating, active. The person it's connected to is nearby. He runs outside, gun drawn. And then he sees the most horrific truth of all. Chloe's red line connects directly to his own father, her grandfather. The secret that drove his father to attempt suicide is finally revealed. The man had been abusing his own granddaughter. The revelation shatters Miles. He confronts his father. His grief and rage so immense he wants to kill him. But he can't. He collapses, weeping, broken by the ultimate betrayal. Meanwhile, it's Clara's birthday. A boy named Leo has become her first real friend. They share a tender moment, a first kiss. For the first time, a red line appears from Clara's head, connecting her to him. She is finally, beautifully, normal. But as Leo leaves to buy her a birthday cake, a pile of construction materials falls, crushing him instantly. Clara watches in horror as her new red line fades to nothing. As she sits in shock, she gets a text from the same unknown number. It's a picture of her friend, kidnapped. The message says, "Happy 17th birthday. It's time to come to the special room." Clara, covered in Leo's blood, calls the only person she can trust, Miles. They race to the school to save her friend. They find the room, but it's a trap, a portal to another dimension. Miles is pulled into a surreal space where he sees all the people who have been given glasses by the mastermind, watching as they carry out murders, erasing the red lines of their cheating partners. On the school roof, Clara finds her friend, who is now wearing a pair of the glasses. "Our teacher, Ms. Reed, told me," she says with manic energy. "She said if you die, everyone in the world will be able to see the red lines without glasses." And then, the weaver of all these lies finally appears. Ms. Reed, she now has so many red lines sprouting. From her head it's a blinding aura of light. She can hide them at will. She is the source. In the other dimension, she confronts Miles. She brings out his father, hands Miles a knife, and tells him to get his revenge. Miles, filled with rage, attacks. But he attacks Ms. Reed. It's useless. She is immensely powerful. She effortlessly throws him aside and then kills his father in front of him. She reveals she was the one who pushed Chloe off the roof, not to kill her, but to force Miles to uncover the ugly truth about his own family. Clara fights her friend and breaks the glasses, snapping her out of her trance. But destroying the glasses triggers a change in Clara. Her body bleeds, her eyes glow, and her blood floats upwards, pulling her into Ms. Reed's dimension. She faces the mastermind. "Why are you doing this?" she demands. "This isn't a curse," Ms. Reed smiles. "It's a gift. And now, thanks to you, everyone will see the truth." Ms. Reed stabs Clara. But Clara's long-lost mother appears, taking the fatal blow. With her dying breath, she frees Clara from a lifetime of guilt. Enraged, Clara attacks, but she is no match. Ms. Reed drains her of her blood, which gathers in the sky as a giant, red orb. She then unleashes its power, sending a wave of energy across the world. But Clara is immortal. She rises and, in a final act, kills Ms. Reed. As she dies, Ms. Reed whispers, "Our purpose is fulfilled." The other dimension collapses. Clara and Miles are thrown back into the real world. As they look up, they see it. Red lines, now visible to everyone, everywhere. 1 year later, the world has changed. People hide their faces, ashamed of the truths now laid bare. Society is broken. But Chloe has recovered, and seeing her uncle's many lines, she accepts him, and they are finally a family. Clara, now the only person in the world with no red line, is finally free, but also alone. She visits Leo's grave, and as she stands there, a ghostly image appears before her. It is Ms. Reed, smiling. The game may be over, but the curse, now unleashed upon the entire world, has only just begun. Some truths are like a poison. Once you see them, you can never go back. If this story left you thinking, smash that like button and share it with a friend who loves a dark twist. And let us know in the comments. Is it better to live a happy lie or to know a devastating truth? Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for more stories like this, because there are always more secrets waiting to be revealed.